Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Easter morning, and I've only got a couple hours to fish. So I'm going to jump out here. I'm going to hit some ponds. Some that you've seen, some that you haven't. But I just want to try to get a couple fish landed before we got to go do the whole Easter thing. I have been out here the last few days, not here specifically, but out fishing, and it has been tough. And it seems like I'm just missing them by a day or two. I guess a timing issue. That's all right. We're going to get this figured out. We're going to keep fishing, keep enjoying ourselves, and keep having awesome days. So let's get to it. So you guys may or may not have seen this first pond. Depends on whether or not I post the video from the first time I was here. I didn't catch any fish at this pond that day, but I did catch a fish at another pond. And kind of the reoccurring theme with all of this pond fishing moving to Maryland is whether or not they have fish in them. As I have said before, it would be very hard for me to believe that this one does not. Because some of these are just like roadside ponds that are, that just catch rain runoff and stuff like that. I can understand that. But like, this is an established pond. Reeds, good shores and banks and everything like that. I just don't, it would just be very hard for me to believe that there was no fish in this. Even if it's not bass, I would imagine that there's something in it. But if I don't catch anything today, I'm still not ruling this one out, because the fishing has been absolutely tough here the last few days. But we're going to keep at it. So a little cool trick that I wanted to share with you guys, which is not new to the fishing industry or anything like that, but just something that I have recently learned, and it helped me, so I figured I'd tell you guys and help you. I needed to re-spool my fishing poles before I came out, and if you use fluorocarbon line, you'll know the stuff is not cheap, but I really like the line, and I use Cigar InvizX fluorocarbon, which is one of the more higher end of the fluorocarbon lines, I guess. Anyhow, I'm used to, when you spool your line, you just rip the old and put the new back, put new back on, and that's pretty much the extent of it. Well, a little trick is, what you do is you buy mono, cheap mono, like Bass Pro has their brand of mono that's like $3 or $4 a roll, and you put 30 or 40 yards of that cheap mono on your bait caster, and then spool up the rest of it with the fluorocarbon, which is the only line that's actually going to see the water. And you're not using, 110 or 120 yards of fluorocarbon, half of which never sees the water. So just a little tip for you guys, save you some money, help you out. This water is very stained here, so I switched over to a chartreuse and white chatterbait, just so they can see it a little better. First spot was a bust. Again, I'm pretty sure there's fish in that pond right there. We'll come back when it's warmer, try to rip some lips off of them. But for now, we're going to move on to another pond. You guys have already seen before, but it's pretty close to this one. So we'll go hit that for a minute. That's right, we are back at the home of that fat girl that I hooked up with recently. Oh, he had it. I saw him have it, but he didn't get the hook. Gosh, dang it. That sucks. I could see him swimming with it in his mouth, and I just reacted a little too late. Had that one little, I mean, it was cool. He hung on to it for just a second, but by the time my brain reacted, set the hook, it was too late. But we'll move on to another one. See if we can't get something done. We're at our third pond for the morning, and the last few times I've been at this pond, it hasn't treated me very well. But I'm hoping that a little time off, maybe she'll come back to me. Water still is stained and nasty, and there's actually a guy fishing over there, so that's a little disheartening. But we'll give it a little bit of time. If not, we'll go try one more on the way home.
I've got a ton of gravel in my shoes, girl on my shoulder. Heart full of blues out in the dirt, down in the dirt. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night.
There we go. Nice. First fish of the day. Not a toad, but better than no fish at all. That's for sure. All right, let's send her on back. You guys don't know how good that feels. I've been out here grinding trying to catch fish. And that is the first one that has decided to commit in quite a few days. I'm stoked about that. That fish was laying pretty close up to the shore, which is kind of a little bit different than it's been here lately. They tend to have been out in that deeper water. This pond right here, I've fished several times and have never got a bite in it. And I was actually talking to another guy the last time I was here that said that he has never got a bite in it either. There's essentially 3 ponds right here that feed into each other. And the other 2, both he and I had caught fish in. But this one, for some reason, neither one of us had caught a fish in it. So I don't know if this one just isn't stocked, or if it's just... I think part of it too could be that where I'm standing right now and down the bank to my left just about 25 yards is the only 2 access points to this pond, because as you can see, the rest of it is houses all the way around it, and so you would be on their property if you tried to fish it from anywhere else. This is another one of those ponds though that I feel like it would be nearly impossible that this doesn't have fish in it, especially when the other two do. And not to mention, you guys probably can't see it in the video, but down at the other end, sitting on that log down there, is a crane, and they eat fish. So that really makes me think that there's some fish down in there. I tell you what, if there's not fish in here and I lived in one of these houses, I would definitely be going somewhere else and catching fish and stalking this thing. Why would you want to live here on a pond like this with no fish in it? That's just insane. Oh, come on. Yeah, got it out. So that pond that you guys just saw that I said I've never caught any fish at, I was standing there fishing, and the gentleman that was also fishing this pond that you see now with me came walking up, and I asked him if he ever caught any fish in it, and he said he hasn't in years. And he said what happened was all three of these ponds used to be really, really good, and they used to be really grassy, and so they added a bunch of chemicals to kill the grass and ended up killing a lot of fish when they did it, and that top pond never really recovered. So I guess that's the story behind that. That is going to conclude our fishing for today. I got to go home, get a quick workout in, and then it is time to go do the whole Easter dinner, brunch, lunch thing, whatever it is. We caught that one fish that you guys saw, and then we had the one that grabbed it, but I wasn't fast enough to set the hook. So overall, still excited because I got out and caught a fish today, got to bring some content to you guys, and got to enjoy the great outdoors, even though most of what I fished today was in the suburban areas. But I'm really looking forward to the end of the month, getting into May. I think the fishing's really going to pick up around here, and I'm really going to be able to bring you guys some awesome content. So again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, all of that stuff, share it. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate you guys. Thanks.